Silent night, holy night. Taylor, stop it. Taylor! Oh my god, she killed me. She killed me. Guys, I literally just finished watching the Love is Blind Season 5 reunion, and boy, do we have some things to talk about. So let's get straight into it, guys. It's been a year and a half, and we are getting an update on all of our couples and failed relationships, which after this reunion clearly was everyone except for one couple. So let's get straight into it. Lydia and Milton are still married and they seem very much in love. Guys, this couple to me, I'm shocked. This couple has really shocked me, and I really do hope that this is real, and I hope that they last forever, because I mean, this was not the relationship I think would succeed and would have continued to succeed. But it has been a year and a half. They show a video of what their year and a half has been. We find out that they did get married again in Puerto Rico, and they seem very happy. Lydia and Milton's family are extremely close now. His mom is like super duper has a great relationship with Lydia. Supposedly, according to Milton, his family loves her more than they love him. They hang out all the time, and it's actually hilarious. His mom and Lydia get together and basically talk shit about Milton, so it's even funnier. You could tell that they have this really joking, fun relationship, and they just seem very happy. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I was very surprised by it. But I do wish them the best, and I hope that this love continues. We move on to Izzy and Stacy, and we have to relive the whole no at the altar, because Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey do bring up the fact that they are the first couple in history to say no at the altar and still kiss after. So they make us watch it again, and God, it's horrific to have to rewatch, and to them as well. They ask Stacy how she feels after watching it, and she says that she feels heartbreak watching it back, because she just felt in the moment that it wasn't right and that they were not ready. They talk about the whole credit card situation, and Izzy says, he is still very much sticking to his story. He's sticking to his story that he wasn't ready to tell Stacy, and that it wasn't the right time to tell her in the pods, and that they didn't really discuss. I don't know. I feel like that part was still a little bit. I still think that it's kind of odd that he really sticks to the story about not being able to be honest with her in the moment to tell her about his whole about his whole credit situation. I don't know. I find it very weird. But anyway, we're moving on. We find out that after the wedding, they took time away from each other for about a week, and then they went on a date. And they both, in that moment, well, not both, Izzy was realizing that it just wasn't the same, and that he was getting something that wasn't, he felt like something was wrong on Stacy's end, and Stacy wasn't ready. And she does claim that she just wasn't ready, and he was very, very much hurt by this, and that they did not talk for a year. And remember, it's been a year and a half, so they didn't speak for a whole year. And then eventually they do, we'll get to it, but eventually we find out that they did meet up again, and some crazy shit happened, but we'll get to that. But they do update us that they are not together right now. Actually, we find out later that they actually are dating other people, which we find out for most of these couples. But we do have Johnny and Chris come out next, and we find out that they are also not together, and we also find out some really bad, shady shit. But we find out that Chris basically cheated on Johnny after that Houston get-together that they all had. Supposedly he left, went on like a vacation, didn't tell her or didn't really contact her, and then found out that he was kind of dating someone else while he was away. So, yeah. And to be honest, I think that they didn't really go into it. They were kind of like, yeah, he cheated, but he apologized. And I'm like, oh, guys, this is very serious. What do you mean he just cheated on Johnny and we're not, lashing out at this situation? I find that kind of weird, but seems like Johnny, she forgave Chris. Chris has been very apologetic over the year, and it turns out that he is still dating that girl that he cheated on her with. So, that's that's sad. Oh, and then Johnny and Stacy go at it again. Stacy still sticks by the fact that she cannot stand Johnny. She sticks to her story about the shedding of the tear and all this stuff and stands by her behavior. Izzy, however, does say that he does apologize for the way that he went about it and the way he treated her, the thing, but he doesn't disagree with what he was doing in the moment where he said. He just apologized for the way that he went about it and that it was wrong. And then we find out some other juicy shit, guys. We find out some really shitty shit. Turns out that Izzy and Johnny also reconnected after the pod situation, and they all went out to a bar. They were doing a whole little reunion with a lot of the people from Love Is Blind, and they made out. And I thought it was so funny because he's like, yeah, we hooked up, but like we didn't have sex or anything, like nothing sexual. And Vanessa Lachey is like, wait, but what's hooking up? Like you guys made out, or like what does that mean? Hooking up just means that they made out, not necessarily that they went and had sex, basically, right? But yeah, he apologizes for his behavior, and Johnny says, thank you so much for your apology. And then she does go on to say that, she might have said some things in the pods about Stacy that might have been a little bit immature at the time because she was hurt and it wasn't right. And then, but I guess she also doesn't agree with like basically like how much she's hated, which I guess I kind of agree. I don't understand like where this hard hate for Johnny's coming from, but Stacy's standing by it and she could not stand it. And also I thought I forgot to mention how funny and kind of rude and inappropriate it was, but it was a funny chuckle. The whole time that Stacy's talking about Johnny and how she can't stand her and telling her the story to Vanessa, you have Chris and Johnny on their side giggling like little girls, like they're like best friends, like, oh my god, yeah, no, I didn't hear what she said. What is she saying? Yeah, blah blah blah. Like literally just like kind of talking while, kind of like if a teacher is giving a lecture and then you have two people talking. That's basically what was going on, and I thought it was really rude. Not gonna lie, I was like, guys, what's going on? Like just. Clearly Johnny did not want to give a fuck about what Stacy was saying, but it was just funny because you could tell that Stacy could see that they were like kind of like chatting, and then Vanessa calls them out later and is just like, oh, so guys, sorry, I just, you guys were talking about something over here. What were you guys talking about while Stacy was, I was like, oh, Vanessa Lachey coming for y'all because y'all were talking, just saying. Then we find out that Stacy and Izzy are like the best of friends now. I thought that was, wow, a turn of events. They were super funny and giggling, and they're like, oh my god, no, I love you now. Like, she's my girl. Like, I talked to her about like dating other women, and like I was like, wow. We went from crying, I can't believe she didn't pick me, to we're the best of friends now. So interesting turn of events. I say interesting. We find out that they connected again after the year, but they decided that they did not want to go there. It turns out they actually ran into each other at a bar where Chelsea, oh my god, why do I always say Chelsea? Stacy is out and about with her family, and they ran into Izzy at this one bar, which is crazy because they never usually hang out at the same kind of bars. Not surprised. But they met up that day, and they did kiss. They did share a kiss. But they decided that they just wanted to be friends and did not want to go there and did not want to open old wounds. So they decided to just stay friends. And they are both seeing each other, seeing other people now. And it's funny because they talk about how they actually ended up going on a randomly double date with the people that they are now dating. Turns out that they each were going with a date to a cooking class, and then in that cooking class got all paired up together to work together as a team, and it was incredibly awkward and so funny because now they can just laugh about it. Now that is a chance. Wow. So then Aaliyah gets there. She's looking lovely. She looks amazing. Aaliyah comes in. She recaps. There's a recap of the friendship between Lydia and Aaliyah. It seems like they are not on good terms. They don't seem to be still talking. Lydia goes on to say that she really wanted Aaliyah to find love. And this whole time, you could just see that Aaliyah still clearly seems really upset, especially because she set these boundaries for Lydia, and Lydia kept crossing those boundaries. And, I guess it's not something they really showed, but I guess it turns out that she really was, telling Lydia, like, hey, I don't want you to talk about Uche. And she just wasn't respecting that. And I think they should have gone into that a little bit more, but they didn't. And I wanted to see more of, like, what were the examples? Like, what was she doing that was, crossing your boundary? Like, I wish there was more information. I felt like they didn't deliver on that. But then Aaliyah does decide to call out Lydia and tell her that she wants her to touch up on the comments of the whole, like, oh, I feel like my ex is going to be here, like, oh, this. And, she's like, I think everybody wants to know what you meant by that. I need you to clear it up. So Lydia basically just says, in that moment, when I was saying that, it wasn't because I was excited about Uche being there. It was more of like a fear, like, oh my God, like this guy's gonna be here. Like it wasn't that she was like saying like, oh, it's fate, like we're meant to be, like I want this guy to be here. It's mostly like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. Even though now that I'm saying that out loud, when she found out that it was Uche in there, she was kind of trying to date him. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look right. She did kind of seem like, oh, I want to try again, and he said no. So I don't know. That now that I'm reading that back to myself, I'm kind of like, Lydia, that sounds a little fishy. I don't know if I believe you. I'm not gonna lie. But she swears that she did not come on the show for Uche, that they both might have casually like said like, oh, look, they're having Love is Blind auditions, but they didn't actually sit down and talk about it. That's what she says. She says that she did not plan to be there for Uche, and that, like, she absolutely says, absolutely not. That was not the thing. Milton jumps in and tells Aaliyah that Uche was the one that wasn't, basically he calls out Uche on all of his BS and about how he was the one that was like going out there trying to find out more information about Lydia and trying to sway me from Lydia, and basically just saying that Uche was basically the wrong in this situation. And then we just go, guys, my favorite part, they go into like this whole thing. Everyone just starts talking pretty much shit, which is sad, about Uche. We found out that Uche and Aaliyah dated, which we kind of knew a little bit from the Instagram and stuff like that they dated. And she said it was bad that she didn't get pot Uche, she got barbecue Uche, which everyone says were two different people. And I think we all did see that. She didn't like, he didn't like her the way she was. Supposedly, like, she wasn't the kind of girl that he would date outside of the pods, and she just didn't like his tone and how he spoke to her. We'll find out that Milton basically is like trying to be friends with people in this group and nobody likes him. Basically texted Milton on the wedding day being like, hey, heard you're getting married today, want to talk about it? Milton's like, absolutely not, and never texted him. Sometimes he texts him from time to time. Milton never answers. We also find out that Uche texted Lydia and Aaliyah the same thing about like, hey, like, do you want to talk it out and stuff? And it was just funny because Lydia's like, yeah, he reached out to me and he told me this, and then Aaliyah like pipes up and she's like, oh, he sent me the same exact text. Vanessa Lachey's like, oh, so we've got to copy and paste her. Oh, okay. Oh my God, I cracked up. I was laughing so hard. So freaking hard. We also talk about what happened at the barbecue thing with Uche and how I thought this was really cute and such a smart thing to do, and I love that they highlighted this. But we find out that Milton and Lydia had a safe word when they went to the barbecue, and basically they set that up so that if any of them felt like, hey, I really need to get out of here, I'm not liking these conversations or anything like that, that they could just say a safe word or show a safe emoji to each other to find out if they were okay and felt comfortable with being there. So that moment when Milton came into the room while Lydia and Uche were talking, and you remember Milton was like, hey, like, we have a dinner reservation, and he showed it to her. What he actually was showing her was this emoji, which I think they said was an oil rigger or something like that. An oil rigger? or something like that. And basically that was a safe word to just be like, hey, are you okay? And then she said she was fine. He was like, okay. And he walked out. So I thought that was so smart. And everyone was applauding him for his maturity throughout that conversation and the conversation that he had with Uche. Everyone was just pretty much praising him. And you know what? I praise him too, because he really was fan freaking tastic in the way he handled himself with Uche. I thought it was awesome. Then we get to the end where we have JP and Taylor come out. And I'm actually so upset because they came out in the last 7 minutes. So they didn't really have too much time to really dig into it. But I will say, y'all, JP was just his typical fucking self. You could just tell he's uncomfortable. And we find out that he actually felt very uncomfortable with the cameras. And that was one of the main reasons why he wasn't talking, because he didn't know what to do. Now, y'all. Okay, it's one thing to be shy because there's a camera there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you can't talk to someone, number one. And number two, when the cameras are off, you could just say, hey, my God, I am so nervous around these cameras. I'm sorry if I'm acting like this. But even the fact that that didn't happen, and freaking Taylor calls him out. She's like, well, what about the times when, like, the cameras were off? You were still the same. I agree. It's just very, like, you could tell that he is someone who is very shy. He's not the one to really break the ice. And I don't know. But okay, let's just keep going. We do find out that Taylor does believe that it wasn't just a makeup thing. She's just like, I believe that you weren't attracted to me at all. Then, what's her name? Vanessa basically asked them each, like, hey, were you attracted to him? Were you attracted to her when you saw her? And, you know, Taylor does say, like, yeah, I was attracted to him. I was really excited to start this part of our lives. I was excited to make this work. And obviously he didn't feel the same way. And then they ask JP if she is someone that he would date in the outside world. And he was like, yeah, I've had girlfriends that kind of look like her. And they're like, okay, well, would you go up to Taylor in a bar? And then he says, oh, actually, I don't go up to girls in the bar. Usually my friends do that for me. And then they basically break the ice for him. And then he'll go and talk to them. So basically, JP is just very shy. He's not the kind of guy that's going to go straight up to the bar and be like, hey, girl, what's up? Let's talk. He is not the one. But he does eventually apologize to Taylor and says that he didn't mean it to come across like it did. And he genuinely just wanted to tell her that she looked beautiful without makeup and it came out wrong, and that he's very sorry about the way that it happened. And he apologizes a couple of times about it. But then I also find it weird because then when they ask, like, well, what did you think when you saw her? Were you attracted to her? And then he said, well, I was taken aback because it just seemed fake to me. And I'm like, have you never seen a woman with makeup in your life? Like, what in the... Sir, what? Like, why was he so surprised at seeing this girl with makeup? And please, guys, if you've been on Instagram and you've seen JP's... Yeah, by the way, they're each seeing somebody else. This girl that he's been dating for a year. Can someone look her up? Does she not have makeup on? Does she not have any pictures with makeup? Because honestly, the fact that he keeps saying that she looked fake when she came out, it shocks me. I'm so shocked by that because she didn't look fake at all. She just looked like she had makeup, and it wasn't even like caked up makeup. She had more makeup on at the reunion than she did when she met him, which, by the way, she looked like a goddess. She came to slay. She came to be like, JP, look what you missing out on, because she looked so damn good in that gold. She looked like a goddess. She looked so freaking beautiful. Oh my God. But in the end, sorry, I want to rant there. In the end, Taylor does say that she forgives him and that they're human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Of course, every single time I gotta quote the Hannah Montanas here. But she just hopes that he never does that to a girl ever again. Like I said before, we do find out that they're both dating someone else. He's been dating someone for a year, and she is just seeing someone, not necessarily officially dating. They're just kind of seeing each other. Then they all play a fun game where they ask each other questions. It's kind of like those things where they have the little paddle, and Nick and Vanessa will ask, like, who would blah blah blah, and then they put up their thing, and everybody was super cute and fun answers. But my favorite was when they Vanessa asked that what is the song that you would play to show the kind of experience you had this season? And like I started this video, Taylor said Silent Night, and I about died as I started this video. I could not. I was cracking up so hard on the couch because it is absolutely the correct one to use. Abso-freaking-lutely. And yeah, that was the end of the reunion. Guys, I thought this reunion was good. I mean, there wasn't a lot of drama. Everybody was very calm and collected. There was none of this, like, no one was ganging up on anyone. This was no, like, season freaking 3 reunion with Zainab and Cole and all of that. None of that happened again. It was a very calm reunion. Everyone seemed very happy in their current lives, which was good. Everyone seemed like they kind of, except for Stacy and Johnny, had resolved their issues. Stacy and Izzy seemed like the best of friends, and so did Johnny and Chris, which I thought was funny. Milton and Lydia looked happy AF. Again, shocked, but good for them. Yeah, everyone just seemed very happy to be there, or not to be there, but happy with how their relationship and things turned out after the show. So, with that being said, I hope everyone learned something from this experience or this experiment and are better people for it. Uche didn't come. Obviously, I think it's because he knew he was gonna get roasted if he went on the show. Like, he was like, I'm not gonna get involved. Like, he knew he was gonna get roasted if he went to that reunion. So I don't know. Maybe they'll show him in the after the altar situation, maybe. But I guess we'll see. We'll see about it. But guys, let me know, what did you think of the Love is Blind Season 5 reunion? Were you shocked by the developments in people's lives? Were you shocked to still see Lydia and Milton living their best life? Were you shocked that Izzy and Stacy were not dating? I mean, I thought, honestly, for a little bit there, I thought that they might have gone back together, but no, they decided to just stay the best of friends. So, wow. But man, that's another season of Love is Blind. Out and about. My God, what a season it was. I mentioned this in my last video. I think it was a very messy season. But hey, at least one couple made it out alive, and they seem very happy. So I wish them the best. And guys, I don't know what's coming up next on this channel. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, the strike is still going strong, and as you know, I'm not covering any struck content on here. So I guess I think I might just have to stick with the reality TV, but I don't know what's up. So I was thinking about doing the Golden Bachelor, but then I just haven't really wanted to get into it, but I feel like I should. I don't know. Are you watching The Golden Bachelor? If you are, let me know in a comment below if you think I should cover it or if you think it's really not worth it. I did a poll for it, and it was pretty much half on what I should do. So I don't know. I still don't really know what I want to cover next. But if there is something you want me to cover that is not struck content, please comment it down below as well. Let me know what you want me to cover. And if you like this video, guys, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below and subscribe if you have not already clicked that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!